Howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another episode of our challenge with the UK, be the last beacon of democracy in a brown ruled world. This episode, folks, was the definition of insanity. Like, literally, this episode drove me nearly crazy. Like, it drove me nuts due to the insane amount of things I had to take care of, and I had to adjust and plan and rethink and modify and change and click and double click and triple click, because oh my goodness, the first thing that really shocked me at the beginning, you might have seen it, but when I loaded the Iron Man save, I found myself to be at war with the let's say brown US, which is something that I didn't remember having occurred, nor that I ever received any warning about the US either joining a faction or declaring war on me. Second, I totally forgot about defending India. Like, the moment I switched over to the, let's say, Far Eastern theater, I found India completely gone, like disappeared from the map. Yeah, sure, only the southernmost tip of India was still there, but I was like, my troops will never gonna make it there. So luckily, I took one whole army, and I divided into two, say, army corps of 12 divisions each, one covering and garrisoning the island of Ceylon, and the other one protecting the gates, let's say, the gates of Singapore. You know, as I said, just in case Siam joins the war, and I didn't want, the Japanese AI to just invade and backstab Singapore, as historically happened. And while this was occurring, and as you've seen, I was busy clearing Africa now from the Portuguese and from the Italians who were using the Portuguese, let's say, beachhead as a springboard for their renewed African offensive. I was busy trying to grind through the Italian peninsula. Now, okay, I didn't have air superiority, so this was kind of a big minus from my side, because I always enjoy having green air when I have to face a tough AI. But this, and coupled with the fact that Italy is mostly a mountainous terrain, again, this drove me really almost to the edge of insanity, because I was convinced that the Italians would just give up, especially the troops in Calabria, who were just starving. But no, they just would not give up. They would not surrender. They would fight until the last man. I've never seen the Italians fighting so hard, at least in House of Iron 4. I mean, and yeah. So it took me like a tremendous effort to liberate my troops and defeating the Italians in Calabria, and to also to unlock the deadlock of the Italian Peninsula campaign. I decided to launch Operation Avalanche, the landings in Naples and Salerno, which were quite successful, even too successful, because I almost risked losing two infantry divisions because I was just being too aggressive. I pushed them too much into the Italian mainland, and I had to pull them out all. And I had to pull them out, and I almost managed to do it in the nick of time. When Siam entered the war, I decided to rush for Rangoon, but again, it was too late. The lack of supplies and the enemy air superiority were really slowing down my troops, to the point that the Japanese were faster than me, and they garrisoned Rangoon, and I was like, okay, fine. If that's what you want to do, let's just do it. When I managed to bring up some planes from the British Islands, I managed to establish air superiority over there, and I finally managed to launch the offensive that gave me control of Rangoon. And once again, having liberated South Africa from the Italian and Portuguese occupation, I redeployed my Blue Army towards the Italian occupied West Africa to once again clear out this portion of the continent from the filthy Italian invaders. And as this was going on, I opened up an additional front line, the front line of the imperial invasion of the United States, because I was like, sure, I can sit here and wait and do nothing, or I can just strike the Americans in the back while they're busy fighting their, let's say, the other rebels in their civil war that now basically became part of the bigger world war. And yeah, I mean, surprisingly, unlike my expectations, the invasion of the USA turned out to be smoother than my expectations. Yeah, because my troops were just steamrolling the American ones, most likely because they just even didn't have enough troops to protect both to cover the entire front line, as well as to fight against the say the other faction of the civil war. And also from my side, I decided to sacrifice part of Canada to kind of divert part of the American troops into Canada and focus exclusively on a relatively narrower front line. Now, a funny aspect of, let's say, intervening in the American Civil War was that at some point, both sides, mine and the American one, just didn't have enough troops to cover the entire front line. And this turned out to be an extremely advantageous situation for myself, because even though I was not caring of the American front line at all, apparently my AI task of handling the battle plans turned out to be slightly better than the American AI tasked of defending their homeland. And by finding gaps in between the enemy lines, my, let's say, battle planning AI managed to just steamroll the American lines and push the American back to the, I think it was Mississippi, Tennessee, and Texas, surround, destroy some enemy troops, which in turn freed up more of my divisions to then fill up the front line and squeeze the brown Americans along the eastern coast. And as this was going on, I realized, okay, cool, the African campaign is almost over. And when this went over, finally, I redeployed my blue army into Italy, because Italy was just becoming a grind fest. Like, literally, there was no progress at all. The Italians were just halting my advance with a relatively small number of troops, and there was nothing, like literally nothing, that I could do to unlock the situation. The only way that I found, of course, to unlock the situation was to perform an additional landing operation, an amphibious invasion. And while these, let's say, you will see it later on in the episode, while this began well, again, the Italians and the Germans brought in now so many troops that it became impossible for me to advance deeper into the Italian peninsula. And the only way that at this point I thought could have really changed the outcome of the war was the preparation of Normandy landings. But more of these, folks, in the next episode. As always, thank you very much for watching, thank you very much for supporting the channel, folks. I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you all in the next episode.